Hey, what's up? Welcome to Space Couch. Call the spaceship to Davenport. Prepare for divanarchy and interface with a couch in space. Oh no, we ran into an asteroid belt right away. That sometimes happens when you're living on a knife edge of mortality, but that's okay. How you been? I've been great. Um, just chilling out here in space and was back to terra firma a little bit early this week with our appearance at Catachrome. So we'll get into that and everything else. First, however, I need to just take a step back. What is up to Mordeth and Bad Seed 666? And mm, excuse my attention to detail here. I just don't want to careen into the sun quite yet, and we'll just do a little bit like that. What's up to DJD42 and no conference? Okay, so uh, we want to do a little systems check there, and I also want to tell you about this week's sponsor, which is Tiger Squawk Records. Some new fantasticness in the clip today with Kionic featuring Isserly. That is brand new. Batavia is unstoppable with Step 13, their new single. Sugar Plum's Suicide Rabbit Hole redone for 2020. You want to check out Tapeworm Hole from Isserly. It's really great. And you also want to check out Volt 9000's Viral. I'm on that one too. Club Ovator's Impostor Bowl. So fun. Batavia on a roll with Quite Mean Spirited and a whole bunch of other stuff you can find for not a lot of money usually at tigersquawkrecords.bandcamp.com. They keep sponsoring this show week in and week out. We can't thank them enough. So let's go to here. And all right, so this is a little bit of a first for Space Couch in that uh, we just did a live show with the guest, and we've never broken down the game tape, if you will, this much after this in such a short duration after the show itself. And we got a new album to get into. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show, Planet Damage. What is up, buddy?
Hello there, Brian, and hello to all the Earth citizens. It's nice to be back.
Yeah, it's a little bit it's tranquil out here in space, but you know all about
Too
that.
much tranquil, in fact.
Living on Planet Damage, too much tranquil. Um,
Don't even mention that.
okay. The well, to say nothing of the problems on terra firma, but we'll get into that maybe a bit later because
Yeah, I bet we will.
oh, Grasp Logic says hello from Earth. Relapse Protocol is out now.
Oh my
That's
God, yes.
yes, I know a long time in the barrel. Tell us like let's high level because I mean we're in space, so like everything's high level, but generally,
Mm.
what do we need to know about this new album? Like, tell us about it like a little bit.
Okie dokie. So, Relapse Protocol, it's been in the barrel for quite a while now. It was released on the 13th of November, 2 days ago, on a Friday in 2020. So, that's quite a date to work with. It's out on Black Pill, Red Pill.
Yeah. Love Black Pill, Red
And
Pill.
me too. How come? And and sort of summing it up technically, it's a 40 minutes long material, which is sort of a mixture
Mhm.
between a mixtape and an actual album.
Mm.
And sort of the backstory is that 2020 has been a weird year,
Mhm.
and I received an invitation to a festival. There's this festival in Hungary, something like an hour's drive
Mhm.
from Budapest, the capital, which is named Fekete Zaj Festival, a Black
Mhm.
Noise Festival, and it's sort of the biggest and best underground festival,
Right.
sort of. rounding up all the underground people from the soothing ambient tunes to all the industrial
Mm-hmm.
stompy tunes. So a lot of different genres there, and these guys invited me to this year's festival in 2020. I performed there 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yeah, dude, you have 40 minutes and you're playing after dark. So, make it happen, make it big. And I actually was working on a lot of different tracks. And now I sort of tried to bring all these tracks together into an album, but they did sound sort of differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, so I do have to play all these tracks. It doesn't make any sense. It's not consistent, all the materials that I do have. So I
Right.
should sort of, find a common ground to all these tracks. And I was like, let's make it into one big ass nonstop medley.
Right.
And I rounded up all the tracks to 135 BPMs and I started mixing everything together.
Mm-hmm.
And like halfway into it, I was like, yeah, that's probably an album right here. It's
Yeah,
so
you get that.
consistent and
You
it's
just nailed.
so sharp
Mm-hmm.
that probably this is the thing. And probably I think the biggest question for me was, do I want to make a version which is not mixed as such? So I like, having 11 separate tracks.
Mm.
And I was like, no, I think I'm going to stick with the mixtape format because
Interesting.
it's not something that people usually do. So that would sort of make it stand out more.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
And
It definitely is singular among releases I've picked up this year. Oh, Freeze
yeah,
Etch is
thank
in the
you.
house and says PD in the
Oh
house.
my God.
So what's up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Freeze
Hello
Etch?
to Freeze Edge and hello to everyone
Yeah.
tuning in.
All right. Well, let's take a little bit of a listen
Mhm.
to the album.
Clients regret gonna minimal viable regret. Is that still a thing? Regret gonna.
All right, and we're back. Missing in stars superstar Dan Gunther is here. Yeah, so like meaty beady good stuff. Definitely there are songs in it. It's not just like a DJ mix, or would you say otherwise?
Probably people who are going to hear it for the first time might sort of say that that's a
Mm-hmm.
DJ mix.
Mm-hmm.
I'd pretty much say that, well, it's not, it's a mixtape, although,
Okay.
mixtape comes from different genres. So it's sort of, there's a big mixture or a
Okay.
question mark above people's heads. Um, I I'd say it works.
Uh-huh.
That's an important thing to say though, that originally what I did have was the instrumental version, like a 40 minutes long trip into the future or whatever that means nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then again, I had to work a lot on coming up with lyrics to all the
Mm-hmm.
tracks that I didn't have lyrics to,
Mm.
and that was sort of a pretty hard trip. I remember at one point I started using a machine learning algo
Really?
and I fed like half a megabyte of industrial lyrics into it and I
Really?
tried to come up with lyrics that sort of work. And there's this algo. It's actually a public domain. It's called TextGenRNN.
Okay.
You download that and you feed it into Google Colab.
Okay.
And it gives you server capacity enough to be able to run TextGenRNN in the cloud, and you don't have to install Python and all that shit. And
Did you use any of it?
sometimes you have to wait 10 extra minutes.
Okay.
I do have something like 3 or 4 big ass text files full of stuff that I need to wade through,
Okay.
and it's sort of weird to look at. I'll share some
All right.
stuff with you
Fantastic.
later.
We'll post that in the show notes. So does Relapse
Yeah,
Protocol
definitely.
have AI generated lyrics on it, or were those not used for
Um,
this?
for they weren't used, but I
Okay.
am thinking about using some of those AI generated, machine learning,
Hmm.
algo generated stuff later on.
Very cool. Very cool. That's cyberpunk as shit, dude. Uh,
Oh yeah,
so the we got into. I was going to ask about the backstory, but we kind of get into that when you're.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe this is a bit of an esoteric question, but so
Uh
you're
oh, go for it.
mixing. You're mixing this stuff together. At
Mm.
what point did it in your mind turn into an album? Like, did it just have enough of a weight to it, if that makes sense, that you felt like, okay, this is now a full length release?
I think yeah, that's a good question. I think the point in time was when, of course, we're talking about a process where I'm continuously listening to this long ass
Right.
section, and obviously, wait, so it's 11 tracks, there's 10 transitions, and when you sort of don't notice the transitions anymore,
Mm,
and you're like, yeah, it sort of flows seamlessly,
mm-hmm,
and there's a start point and there's an end point, and I can sort of feel where it's coming from and where it's going.
mm-hmm.
So it has a vector.
Okay. Oh, you're right.
I think that was the point.
You got a vector. Like, you were if you were a racing game, you hit that speed strip and you can
Mm,
see where it's going.
yeah, yeah. That's the one.
We'll get into the video game shit in a second, but
No,
let's do this. Dude, we just pulled off Catachrome to wondrous effect. I had a
I loved
great
it.
time. You loved it? Tell me about your feelings. How'd you feel about it?
That was sort of a new thing for me doing, starting to do the online shows.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's sort of a feeling where you're sort of, you don't know how many people will be there. There's a lot of expectation. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stress because of what's going to fuck up this time.
Right. Totally.
And
I've been
this,
doing Space Couch for
yeah,
a year.
I think this was one of the rare moments when almost nothing fucked up, and it
Right.
sort of, from start to finish, it sort of went well.
Yeah.
Uh, I loved it. In terms of being how much cyberpunk it was, I think it was pretty much as fast forward future as it could be.
Right.
So that was great.
Right.
And we, like, three different acts were there, and I sort of think that us three sort of complemented each other very well.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's great. Speaking of the show, shout out to DJ D42 in the chat room on Twitch who pimped all our merch
Yo,
during the set. Oh, and Tiger Squawk's own Industrial is here. Always happy to have Vagart around. Yeah, it was pretty fun. How did I mean? No false modesty, but how did you come to choose Angel Spit and the Gothsicles for Planet Damage release party?
the question is good. I didn't want to do this alone, and I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to pick people whose music I love. I wanted to pick people whom I trust,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to pick people with whom I can work well.
Mm.
And I think that you guys, both Gossicles and both Angel Spit, tick all these three
Mm.
pretty strong requirements.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Instantaneous.
Thank you. My goal is to be if I message you on your phone and you see that you're getting a message from me, you don't
Mm.
think shit. Like I want to be like reliable. So thank you for that. And it is important. Like you're we've never met in real life. You're on the other side of the planet. Pardon the pun. And
Yeah.
you need reliable people. And like even here in the states, like Carl and I are about as far away as you can be and stay within the continental U.S. So we span the
Yeah.
globe pretty well on that one. Um, let's cut. Oh, Grasp Logic is here. What's up, buddy? Um, let's do a little bit. We're gonna cut to a clip of you just killing it. Here's how Friday went.
Nor do the people around me. We form frail, forking synergies, moving deeper underground, tempoing down, fast, frantic alleys. Point of views were
All right, and so that was a little taste of a celestial body I like to call Planet Damage, playing some tracks off of Relapse Protocol. Let's be a bit professional. Where can we get Relapse Protocol before I forget?
Oh,
Planet
you
Damage
can
dot.
get that. Yeah, planetdamage.com is the first place to go, but then again, planetdamage.bandcamp.com is the place where you can buy or download stuff. Basically, mostly everything that you can find there is free for the taking, or pay what you will. There's a price on Relapse Protocol, but whenever you decide to buy it, you'll get two 40 minutes long extra tracks as well. The first one is the non-stop version, and the other one is the non-stop instrumental version. So
That
if you
is
want to work out not listening to me, you can totally do that.
pennies on the minute. Pennies, half a penny per minute when you
Ah,
pick up the new Relapse Protocol out now
oh,
from our good
by the
friends.
way, By the way, one thing I wanted to
Yeah.
say, just sort of linking back to the video before, I wanted to say that I'd like to plug my friend's work here. His name is Richard or Rihad Bashansi. He's the guy with whom I've been working on during the past 2 years or
Mm.
so on music videos, Vax and High-Res Low Life, and he was the guy who did the backing video for Relapse Protocol. There's
Mm.
on YouTube. There's actually a 40 minutes long version
Well,
with the full backing video. So if you're interested and you want to do your own little techno show at home, because why not? You can totally do that. And we use that backing video on or during Catachrome, and we overlaid that on the live stream.
well, that's amazing. Like, so you're making your backing video publicly available if somebody wants visuals for a techno thing they're doing?
No, I was more like saying that
Oh,
there's
they should play that.
I,
Okay.
I I uploaded the album, and with the
Oh.
album there's the time synced version of the backing video as well.
Okay, so don't steal it. I screwed that up. But
Whatever whatever people do with that, you know,
but
at home, they can do that.
it exists. It exists, and it looks great. And
Yeah.
he did. Is that who did the cover? The physical cover of Relapse Protocol?
And yes, and he did the artwork for the album as well, the cover and all the inlays and
Well,
everything.
that's yeah. Let's plug that guy. Is there like a? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but should people just search
No,
for like a
put him on the
website or
spot as
something?
well. He fucking deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's richardbashanti.com, but I'm going to link it
Okay. Cool.
to Facebook as well, so everybody's going to see that.
Perfect. Yeah. Check him out. He's really good. That looked great. How?
He is.
Well, visuals aside, how do you think your? Tell me about your experience playing. Like, was it like nerve wracking to not have physical people
Yes,
there? Okay.
yes. I definitely love seeing how people react to my music, and I don't have to describe that to you, but that's a normal thing. Like,
Sure.
there's the positive feedback that you need in order
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make the live
Definitely.
thing happen. And during Catachrome we didn't have that, and it's sort of you try to sort of visualize the crowd there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
So it's sort of yeah, there's an ebb and the flow, but sometimes you just have to go for it.
Cool, man.
So
Cool.
it was absolutely strange, but I don't want to say that that is something we have to prepare for,
Mm.
in the upcoming 12 months or so,
Hmm.
but I sort of believe we have to brace ourselves for
Well,
that.
I mean that's a good point. Like, I mean, even if like COVID was wiped off the map tomorrow, I think now we've had the concept of the online show so perfectly cemented in everyone's
Mm.
sort of consciousness. It's a good thing to just get used to. Um, what advice might you give, having done this, to somebody who wanting to start their own, or like other electronic artists, because that's what we focus on here, doing their own stream? Like, what might you say?
Oh my God. I'm not sure I'm the person who should be giving advice
Well,
to people, but then
let's do
again, one
this.
thing I might
Okay,
add is, practice, practice, practice,
dig it.
and always practice.
Yeah,
Prepare for the worst,
yeah,
and prepare for tech fuck ups,
that
and
is
probably
giant.
work with the most minimal setup, because if it does the most minimal setup, then you're sort of minimizing
Mm,
the possibility for error,
okay. No, I one yeah.
and also look good. Use good lighting, and wear something that sort of makes you look different from everybody else on the
Okay.
screen.
The Well, geez, for prepending that with I don't have advice, you gave three wonderful pieces of advice. I
I might
personally
have stolen two from Carl.
well, that's a good person to steal them from. Yeah, I agree. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's true. Sorry,
if you
Carl.
if you're one man banding it, especially, put a little bit less gear on that table than you think you might need, because it's once that live stream starts going, it's hard to sort of keep all those sort of boats afloat, I think. And yeah,
True.
look good, and practice, like run through it a couple times. You're gonna find little technical glitches, like OBS Studio does XYZ if I don't
Mm.
ABC. So yes, love everything you just said there. um in general, like how are you finding the online spirits versus like the show? Like, I mean, it's nice to not leave your home, but you don't have that interaction. Like, how would you?
That's sort of tricky, because someone asked me recently how I feel about 2020. What is the thing that I miss most?
Mm-hmm.
And I said going out with friends to a gig,
Mm.
because there's a very different feel there. And both as someone who plays on stage, and both as someone who
Mm-hmm.
loves to be in front of a stage
Yeah,
looking at
totally.
great bands, I could still say the same thing, that that is the one thing that I do miss the most,
Yeah.
the physicality of it
Right.
and the
Right.
vibe. You cannot get it from anywhere
It
else.
is. It's true. It is. I don't know what that is, but it's. I love the online experience, but you are not wrong that just going into the physical space is this
Oh,
emotional.
and this is very strange, though. I don't know how much people remember the very first weeks of COVID.
Hmm.
I do know that my sense of time sort of stumbled a couple of times, really.
Right.
And there was, I think, the first festival that started out was Gothicat.
Hmm.
And when the first Gothicat happened, I was like, this is basically one of those music video shows from MTV. Why are we calling that a festival? I mean, I understand where the whole festival notion is coming from, and
Hmm.
that is the closest you
Right.
can get to in terms of a festival. So that was understandable, but that was very weird for the first
Right.
time. And now Gothicat is at its fourth or fifth
Really.
installment, and now it's the next normal.
It is the like
And you can get used to it. So there's
you
this sense
can.
that, yeah, this is a very shitty situation, but then again, we sort of have to adapt
Hmm.
to it. And I think we're doing that. It's harder for some, it's easier for others,
Right.
but then again, that is something we have to live with.
Well, adapt you did, because Relapse Protocol is wonderful, and your live show was great. Um,
Thank you so much.
I want to jump back in time 20 minutes because I'm curious, and I'm going to
Mm,
fuck up the pronunciation of this, but
perfect.
you you did play Feket Fek Feketazai
Fekete. That's
Fekete
it. Yeah, Fekete Zoe.
Zoe
Fekete Zoe. Yeah, that's
Fekete
it.
Zoe. You did play it, yeah?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and
yeah.
how was that, man?
Oh my God, that was the n- weirdest moments of 2020, and
How's
there were
that?
a lot of weird moments.
Okay.
And there was a very positive weird to say that. Like, we did have a full lockdown, shops all
Oh no
closed,
shit.
not a curfew, but people cannot go out to the streets only if they have to do it for the absolute necessities.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sort of started getting used to it, saying that, okay, so this is our life now, let's just
Mm-hmm.
hope that something happens. And then sort of regulations started to ease up a bit, and by summer we were like, okay, maybe we can go out to places, but that's sort of iffy, something
Mm-hmm.
bad might happen or it might not, we don't know. So every single festival in Hungary, and I think everywhere else in the world,
Mm-hmm.
they were sort of waiting for regulations to ease up and sort
Mm-hmm.
of looking at their calendars and watches, saying, can we actually do this festival or
Mm-hmm.
event, or are we not allowed to do it anymore? So practically, 2 days before the whole festival started, I think everybody gave a 50-50 chance of
Mm-hmm.
that festival actually happening or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that before we actually set off on road, to get into the car and leave for the festival, we sort of looked at all the websites, that, okay, are we actually allowed to go? Are events,
Mm.
closed down or not? And we could go, and there was a 500 person regulation, so only 500 people could be in front of every single stage.
Okay.
Yeah, and there were counters and everything.
Really?
So that was as
Mm-hmm.
automatized as possible. And it was sort of weird because, you had that sort of unease in
Mm-hmm.
you that, okay, so is someone infectious or
Right.
not? How are we supposed to say hello to each other now?
Right.
And yeah, it took 24 hours to sort of to that better mood to set in,
Mm-hmm.
and then everything felt a lot better
Mm.
afterwards.
Okay.
And in
Okay.
terms of people, I think everybody was really hungry for live music
Okay.
and live gigs. And I remember that people, I think I was the first gig that night who started playing 4x4,
Okay.
and that helped a lot to people, and they started jumping and raving all around, and that was
Okay.
just that was fucking mental.
All right. You mean like four on the floor, like dance beats you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool. Cool. Oh, that's great. I'm happy that that worked out. Um, but it was. Did you have to socially distance and all that stuff at the thing? Or I mean, I suppose if you're limiting the capacity to 500, that would. I would love to play in front of 500 people, but uh,
Well, the potential capacity was 500. I think I played to 100,
okay.
maybe
That's
more,
awesome.
but I'm not really sure.
Okay. Cool, man.
But as for distancing, we didn't know what to do. There were people with
Oh
masks.
yeah.
There were people who did not really care.
We hadn't really figured it out, I think, at that time. But
One thing which was actually good, and the
uh,
very lucky thing, that there was no news of any infections
oh, great.
whatsoever.
Oh, awesome. That's really cool,
So
man.
yeah, 2 weeks after the gig, we were sort of, everybody was looking at
Right.
every single group and website, like,
Is it
are we okay?
good?
And
Yeah.
yeah, 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 and we were very much okay. And absolutely, thank yous and respect to kudos to every organizer there, and every band and every visitor
Mm,
who came there, because that was one of the moments in August, I think, that sort of helped a lot of people to get through a lot of hardship in 2020.
mm. Okay.
So that was the thing that sort of helps you between the bumps on the road.
Mm. Very
Yeah,
cool.
that
Very
was
cool.
that was that was that was a good gig.
That was. Oh, it sounds great. I would. I would love to see it. The other thing I would like to see is little space couch tradition. Let's design the Planet Damage video game. Like, would this be like a Terminator 2 arcade thing, or like a puzzle game where you have to like untangle the album cover with all those lines? Like, what do you think, man?
I think it would be old school. I think it would remember a board. It would look like a board game.
Okay.
It would pretty much look like a board game. It would probably have a lot to do with Cthulhu.
Okay. Great. Great.
There would be a lot of roguelite,
Okay.
roguish elements in it,
Very cool.
and one thing that I sort of it would be modular.
Okay.
And there would be a lot of different narrative elements that you could sort of weave together, but
Okay.
it would be completely randomized.
Okay.
So it would be like eldritch horror, but I wouldn't hurt any or violate any copyrights.
Okay.
And it would be a lot more replayable. I love eldritch horror. That's like 10 out of 10 in my books.
You are in the right place.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, like you would randomly generate like a rooftop you could do snipers from, or any sort of like relapse protocols. Like if your guy loses sanity points and relapses into insanity, their protocols are set for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't know if it would have anything to do with cyberpunk, but why the hell not?
We got to work in the light up glasses that's like the Planet Damage.
Oh my god.
That's like the extra life icon or something like that.
I mean, actually, I did mention Richard to you, the guy who helps me with the video, the music videos and everything. Actually, the idea comes from Twitter. A Japanese dude did it.
Oh, cool.
And I showed this idea to Richard, and he was like, "Hey, we can pretty much rig this together in like an hour or something, but I have to drink a coffee, and then I'll find someone and we'll do it." And they came back something like a day later or 2 days later and said, "Yeah, we have it. Do you want to come over and try it out?"
That's the what? I'm sorry. What are we trying out? I got distracted by the chat.
We're talking about the glasses, the light up glasses in high res low life. Yeah.
I apologize. Josh Bentley of Pitch Black Manor is in the chat room and is telling me to take off my shirt. So I this isn't OnlyFans. You got to pay for that. But that's cool that he rigged up the light up glasses in a day. You can see those in the video for High Res Low Life, available now. Also at planetdamage.bandcamp.com. The song, the video's on YouTube. But it is also great. Okay, so if any programmers are in the chat room today, we got to check out the Planet Damage Eldritch Horror video board game. It's going to be awesome.
I mentioned this a couple of times, and it's going to happen.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'm guessing you're going to be the main guy, but like maybe Carl can join the party or something like that. It'll be
yeah.
yeah. He just does modular synth attacks. Are you much of a gear guy these days, or are you using software?
Ouch! I'm a software guy.
I'm software. No judgment.
Yeah, I totally understand all the people who say that you need to go tactile when you make music, and I do have a DeepMind 6 here, and I love to tweak it, and I understand where it's coming from, but I like to make music as compact as possible.
Hell yeah! I mean, or you're on a train or something, you got to throw out some beats. Like I no judgment for software. We are all about workflow. Correct me if I'm misinterpreting this, but your Bandcamp bio indicates you might like spicy food.
Yeah, so here's the thing about spicy food. I absolutely adore it, but my tolerance level for it might not be as high as I would love it to be.
I love it. So you well, you get more.
But I love running up against the wall and hitting myself on it every single time, and trying to scrape myself up and go back at it.
Oh yeah, that's Spicy food does that. You're like, this could be hotter. This could be. Oh, go. You can't. It takes a while to back out. I dig it. Uh,
Every single time. Yeah.
No, my fiance and I are both spicy food fans, and we always ratchet it up. And I think we basically just inject hot lava into our tongues now. But yeah, always happy to have a little spicy food stuff. Um, well, I know we talked about this just now a little bit with
Mm.
the festival stuff, but you were on Space Couch last year, and one of our early guests. Thank you very much. And the world is a much different place now.
Oh my
Uh,
God, yes.
what's the feeling in Hungary right now? Like, are you guys pretty open? Is it catch as catch can sort of a thing?
Ooh, that's a rough question.
Mm,
One of the things that I pretty much don't like in 2020, and I think a lot of people might share this sentiment,
mm-hmm,
is uncertainty.
mm,
And practically, I'm a very paranoid guy, and I don't know whatever I'm reading online is true or
mm.
not.
Yeah.
But then again, it seemed to amplify or multiply over the past months.
Your paranoia, you're saying, or what?
Both paranoia and both the unbelievability of
Oh,
all the
right.
news articles I'm seeing. And dude, I don't know where we're heading at.
Yeah.
I very much don't, and I would love to see a lot of people behaving a lot more
Mm,
sensible.
okay.
I think that whenever you don't know what to do, or there's too much uncertainty around you, the probably the best idea is to just sort of brace yourself and
Mm-hmm.
then behave as, use your common sense.
Okay.
It doesn't ever hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And a
Right.
lot of people don't seem to use that at all.
Like, what does
And
that
I
mean in Hungary? Like, mask, no mask, restaurant, no restaurant,
uh,
sort of stuff?
yeah, mask usage was one of the problems, that people didn't really use it.
Okay.
I think a couple of days ago there was sort of a bigger problem about that. Like, someone didn't wear a mask on a tram or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or on a bus, and someone said, "Yeah, mate, you should probably wear one."
Mm-hmm.
And that guy actually knifed the person.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Who said that, you should maybe wear it. So that dude is in the hospital now. Um, and so, that's just one story, which is an extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, people tend to not really being, so they don't really comprehend what's going on, and this is one of the crisis situations
Mm-hmm.
where you should be sort of getting good advice from people in in responsible positions, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not really happening.
Okay.
But then again, this is not really a Hungarian thing. I think it's
Right.
global.
Well, sure. I mean, yeah, it's literally a pandemic. I just you're my only window into Hungary. I'm just curious.
And yeah, like, one of the things that we were talking about with friends is that, ever since we were kids,
Mm-hmm.
we were always watching science fiction movies and
Right.
post-apocalyptic movies and all that shit. And we were like, oh my God, we totally have the know-how now. Whenever something happens, we'll be able to handle that
Ain't
shit.
that
And
true?
once you're a teenager,
I'm sure.
it's like that.
Yeah.
But you sort of have the inkling whenever you're older that, I sort of do have the survival skills, at least the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, the crisis situation happens, and you're like, nah, probably not.
This isn't
I'm
what I
I'm
thought it was going to be.
I'm starting from step zero here.
Interesting. Interesting. Ah, well, thank you for that insight. I'm curious as to how other regions of the country are doing,
Uh,
or the world,
we're
I
we're
should say.
actually having we're actually having curfews now.
Hmm.
And as much as I know, Austria is going to have a complete lockdown from, well, this is Sunday now, so from Monday,
Hmm.
that nobody can go out on the streets, with a few exceptions, like walking the dog or going to the hospital or something
Right.
like that. And Hungary usually follows Austria in terms of
Okay.
regulations
Okay.
with a time delay.
I didn't know that.
So we might have a week or two, or not. I don't know, but looking at trends, that might be a sensible thing
Okay.
to do. The numbers are climbing. I don't know, 100 people dying every single day.
Uh,
And as for registered infections, I don't even know the numbers, but they're in the thousands.
okay. All right. Yeah. Well, you know, do what you can. Let's jump back into music for a second. Um,
Yeah,
how?
I might have sort of ruined the mood here.
No. Well, I mean, I asked. I mean, like, tell me about COVID. It's fucking great, dude. Like, yeah. I mean, that's it's all good. Like, it would be. That's it's the direction in which it should have gone. But
Yeah,
all
yeah.
ways are up here because I'm just floating in space, so I can jump from topic to topic in an anti gravity environment. So
Oh my God, yeah. Who
it's
doesn't love science?
it's so great. I love this shit. Just careening through the atmospheres. No atmosphere actually. I mean, I made an artificial one here on Space Killer, so I don't die. But you know,
Yeah, and this is going to be the moment when I ask you, is there sound in space?
well, there
Ah,
is, and that sound is Relapse Protocol, out now on Black Pill Red Pill Records, available at planetdamage.bandcamp.com. Bam.
I
Uh,
did not expect that, but thank you.
how does it manifest for you physically, meaning music? Like, do you wake up in the morning and like drop a few beats before you brush your teeth, or is it crack open a Cubase or whatever you use in between video games? Like, what's your deal?
That's a good question. I'm a coffee person, so I don't usually wake up early.
Okay.
Yeah, hello, coffee brother. And usually it's the PM zone when I
Mhm.
start working, and and I did have a lot of problems with having a lot of different drafts on my computer, and I
Mm.
couldn't really finish them, like 16 to 32 bar loops, which
Mm.
sounded great, but I didn't really know how to tweak them
Mhm.
any further. And I sort of uh, came up with a technique or read it somewhere, I don't know, but it seems to work for me. That I sit down. It's not like every day, but whenever I can do it, and sit down for 1 hour.
Mm.
I set the timer, and within that 60 minutes, I have to make a combination of a verse and the chorus.
Oh, awesome.
However shitty it is, I press save on it at the end of 59:59,
uh,
and that's the day closed there. And I
very
do it
cool.
for, I don't know, 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Mhm.
And after I have something like 20 something drafts, I revisit them and I wade through all of these and
Oh,
I
very
try to
cool.
find the best bits, which are the good ones, and then I start working on those. And like, this is how Hyra's Low Life
Mm.
came to be. And one of the tricks behind doing verse and chorus, a combination, is that I usually tend to work in a pop structure, in a pop song structure.
Okay.
And whenever you do have a verse and you do have a chorus, you basically have your arrangement. You just have to work with a middle eight, and it's sort of, if you know a bit of chord theory,
Mm.
it's sort of okay and
Mm.
easy to do your middle eight as well, and the intro and the outro, and you're going to tweak stuff anyways,
Mhm.
and set in all the automations. And if you want to make a typical 4 minutes long pop song out of it, it's sort of easy,
Okay.
at least to just to lay down the structure of it, or the
Mhm.
framework of it. And then again, you'll tweak it until release day, obviously. But then again, it's a whole lot better than just having 32 bars and sitting there in front of it being super anxious about how the fuck do I continue this.
Right. Right. So you
So it
just
did help me a lot.
very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's an interesting. I don't know that we've heard that particular process. That's like a Vardensphere, for example, will put together like a bunch of little pieces like Legos, and then like kind of combine them. And then
That's a good idea as well.
we had Dummy Plug Conspiracy on, who said, I have kids in a day job. I have 20 minutes to work on music a day, so I have to write the whole thing in my head first and then go through there. But we've not had
He is a focused guy.
the iterative process of Planet Damage. Yet another approach you get here on Space Couch. Thanks for watching. Um, now that we've got, what was it? I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
I actually wanted to say one more thing
Yeah,
about
hell
this,
yeah.
about
We got time,
another
man.
process. Um, I'm actually looking at the book on the shelf, and I can't really read the title. Anyway, so here's the thing. So there's a process that says, okay, so if you have 32 bars and you can't really continue, then what you should be doing is just, take any number by which you're multiplying those 32 bars, like, have
Yeah.
320 bars, like, repeat it 9 times.
Uh-huh.
So you basically have 320 bars and start cutting out tracks from the beginning and the end,
Okay.
because it's a lot easier to take away things from a whole structure than subtraction is easier than addition.
Right. Okay.
So
Very
that's another
cool.
way of negative sculpting, which sort of is weird. But if you do have problems with setting up a structure of a song, it sort of helps you getting through the first big bump on the
Awesome.
road
Oh,
or
that's
in the road.
yeah, I'm stealing that, man. Was that used on Relapse
Yeah,
Protocol?
totally. Nope. I did Relapse Protocol with the 1 hour
Joe,
thing.
you used to that was your 1 hour method. Very cool. Well,
Yeah.
what do you think might be next for the mighty Planet Damage?
Mm. So I do have a couple of ideas. I am planning a sort of a brother release to Relapse Protocol. There's going to be, I hope it's going to get released early next year.
Very
The
cool.
Relapse Protocol remixes.
Yes.
So there's one thing, and then I do have another release in the pipeline
Oh,
sometime next year, which is
machine.
going to be a side project sort of thing.
We are all about side
Yeah.
projects here on the couch. Very cool.
Yeah, it's a very different thing from the typical Planet Damage release. So it seemed like an easier thing to just pick a different name, pick sort of a different aesthetic, and go with that. And you might be able to come across a few Planet Damage remixes as well, if
Well,
not late this year, then early next year.
that is exciting. I will give
Oh my God,
myself a
yes.
plug at the
Please
Gothsicles
do.
release IDDQD. You can get a fantastic Planet Damage remix. You brought that track to the next level. Pardon the pun. That was talking
I
about
loved working on it.
well. Ammo cheats for days with this guy, even though that song's about God mode. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to reference your song because I like it so much. Uh,
Thank you.
the Planet Damage Relapse Protocol available now. What we'll go out maybe on this, but we got time. Uh, now that you're sort of it's been out for a couple of days, Relapse
Yeah.
Protocol. Um, are you at the point where you can sort of stand back and see it objectively? Because you've been hearing these same songs for a year. Is it not there yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally there at the point where it's still stuck on my back, and I
Okay.
sort of, one of the weird things is that you sort of release the album and you hope that, okay, this is far away from me now,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not, because you still have to, and I don't want to sound like a dickhead who's sort of having a problem with that. The thing that I haven't said yet, but
Well, it's a great album.
there's a round of promotion. There's a round of
Yeah,
promotion that you have to do,
sure.
and there's a whole lot of connection to the album,
Yeah, that is true.
which is not dissipating for another few weeks time.
Yeah,
And then there's a remix release which is going to sort of uh, stay with me for another few weeks
totally.
or 2 months or 3 months, I don't know. So it's sort of a close ride with the album, and I think that's sort of going to stay there for a while.
Very cool. Very cool. I mean, and I'm assuming that's going to be by way of black pill, red pill.
Yes,
Very cool.
yes.
Yeah, it's we did that split battle comp,
Yeah, the
and
label battle
that
comp.
was
Yeah,
great. And of course, Catachrome was a Tiger Squawk black pill crossover. Very happy to see that that's going on. Some really cool stuff going on at Black Pill with obviously Angel Spit and Spank the Nun, Miss Ballistic, and some band called
loving Spank the Nun.
Spank the Nun is great. And of course, Planet Damage. So we are on this rogue flight path here,
Mm.
and I'm gonna bring this flying couch back into the station. Uh, I will say again, you want to check out Relapse Protocol, really cool, industrial. I would say definitely, but doesn't quite sound like anything else you have in your collection. Um, uh,
I sort of was shocked when Carl was talking about it. He was referencing it to someone, and he did mention that Relapse Protocol is cyber trance,
ooh, I like that.
and I was like, where is this coming from? Oh my God!
It's
Because
very
it does have a lot of breakbeat.
it does have a lot of like you brought back some older tracks
Yep.
with breakbeated versions. Dummy Plug
Yeah.
Conspiracy is here. It says happen and mug, bro. Hey, only the best for you watchers of Space Couch. Yeah, so like the aforementioned high res low life and scraps and stuff are like sort of
Yeah. Yeah.
retooled you brought that mech into the station and got those mech
Oh yeah.
mechanics on it. Did you just sort of, hey, no problem, man, you just wanted to sort of like re present those tracks? Like, what was the decision behind that?
You mean the breakbeat edition?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So the thing was, I tried to come up with the best playlist
Mm-hmm.
for the festival gig. And I was like, okay, so Hyra's Low Life isn't that dancey. Vax isn't that dancey. I need something to just sort of make a track a lot more edible
Mm.
and danceable and stompable, so to
Mm-hmm.
say. And I was like, okay, so what sort of crowd am I working with, and what sort of the vibe that I want people to go away with
Mm.
from the stage. I was like, yeah, probably. I like breakbeat.
Yeah.
It's not something I usually wake up with, but I love the vibe
Very cool.
of a good breakbeat groove. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, so how about having a go at it? And I did a breakbeat version of Scraps,
Yeah.
and it totally stuck with me.
Very
And I was
cool.
like, yeah, probably I should work with maybe High Res Low Life. Maybe it's going to work as well. And so it did. And Vex was the third track that did get this breakbeat version, and everything else did get a lot of 303s.
Very cool. Yeah, you branching out. You know, you started on Planet Damage, and you're expanding that solar system
Yeah.
into Planet Breakbeat and Planet Cybertrance, and just all the celestial bodies here on Space Couch. Um, so we are almost out of space time. Uh, do you have any closing thoughts for us here on Couch?
Um, I'd really love to say thank you for inviting me back to
Not,
space
oh, it's a
once again.
permanent invitation.
And oh my god, do I get my own coffee, space coffee mug
Yeah, we'll do
at the
that.
station?
Shit,
Okay, I'm in.
that's a good
Totally good.
idea.
I'm in.
Now we'll totally do that. All right, great, great, great. Okay, cool.
And I'd like to say thank you to everyone who stuck with us tonight. Super hello to everyone at Black Pill Red Pill,
Big ups to Black Pill.
and to everybody who's watching this right now in the present or in the future or in the past, because why not? Stay safe
Stay.
and stay sane. I think these are the two things that we need the most right now.
Yeah, you want to keep that sanity score high because once that Eldritch Horror board game kicks in, it's just going to be sanity checks every 30 seconds.
Sanity checks. That's a good side project name, by the way.
There you go. Um,
Dude, okay, that's
just
it.
just making it happen. This is Brian from Space and also Boston for Space Couch for Planet Damage from Hungary, saying call the spaceships to Davenport,
Mm,
prepare for Divanarchy and enter space. Interface with that couch in space. There, we got it. We did it. All right, Space Couch.
super
Oh,
freestyle.
yes. Good stuff. Damage. Wonderful episode.
Ouch.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you, Brian. That was awesome. Thank you.
Always good to talk to you. Yeah, Brother Yell, and yeah, obviously stay in touch with like the internet and all that, but
Oh, definitely.
would love
But
to get out to you
hey,
someday. Yeah, what's up?
there's one more thing.
What's up?
That sanity checks. We totally have to make a track
All right.
under that moniker.
All right. Uh, let's. You know what? There's always room for one more. I will. I will. What are you thinking? Like an
That's what
ambient
she said.
thing, or like a like a breakbeat thing, or just like an EBM? Or how do you feel about it?
Sanity checks. It could totally be an EBM track,
All right. I'll send
like
it.
old school EBM. That would totally work. But then again, if you know that if it's about sanity checks, it should definitely have sort of a Lovecraftian vibe. I don't
Totally.
know how that would manifest
I
itself
think we could get
musically.
there. Cool, man.
Yeah,
I'll.
a load of minor chords and minor bass lines and all
That's
that.
how you summon the demon. I will throw together some loops or something.